Welcome back, Giants fans. So we're going to talk about the Giants off-season workouts beginning. We're going to talk about the Adoree Jackson contract getting kind of converted into a signing bonus. We'll talk about that, the ramifications. We'll talk about Kadarius Toney not showing up so far to the Giants reportedly. Is it a big deal? Is it not? And we'll talk about some draft rumors and all those things. I want to make a Kayvon Thibodeau video in the next few days because I love that guy and I really want the Giants to draft him. So I'll go over why I want that to happen in the next few days. Go in the community page. I posted a questions type thing. So if you guys have questions for me before the draft, I will definitely make a mailbag type episode before that in the next couple of weeks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, always helps out, and let's get into it. So we'll start with the Adoree Jackson news. As Field and H tweeted out, the Giants have converted $8 million, almost $9 million of cornerback Adoree Jackson's contract into a signing bonus with a void year added, creating $5.98 million in cap space per source. The Giants were recently the only team in the league with under $1 million in cap space, so that frees up some flexibility. So Dave Gettleman, the gift that keeps on giving. The Giants are not in the best cap situation, as we know. They did not sign too many guys this offseason. Mark Lanowski kind of had not a big contract, but it was a decent contract. So outside of that, the Giants really made no big signings this offseason. I guess Tyrod Taylor maybe kind of, but I don't consider that either. But you look at some of the contracts on this team, whether it is like Leonard Williams, which looks terrible now, and then you have Kenny Golladay, the recent ones. Adoree Jackson's in there as well. They were able to bring the money down on the contracts of Blake Martinez and Sterling Shepard, which was nice, but you're still paying some guys a decent amount of money. Of course, Andrew Thomas has a big rookie contract. Saquon Barkley, same thing. Daniel Jones. So the Giants do have themselves some pretty bad contracts on this team. And it's crazy because our quarterback is still on a rookie contract. That should not be the case. Like most times when a team has a quarterback on a rookie contract, it's either you have a ton of cap space or you're a really good team that doesn't have a lot of cap space. And the Giants somehow managed to be a bad team that does not have a lot of cap space. So pretty tough to do that one. Anyway, so the Adoree Jackson contract going forward, we'll look at it down here. It is going to be a $9.2 million cap hit in 2022, $19 million in dead cap space, so Adoree is going to be a Giant next year. Now in 2023, 2 seasons from now, is where it is kind of possible to get out of this contract if they wanted to. Adoree Jackson in 2023 has a massive $19.4 million cap hit now, but a $10.4 dead cap hit. So the Giants can save $9 million next season if they wanted to cut Adoree Jackson, which I don't know if that's going to happen. I guess if he gets hurt this year or just doesn't play well, it could happen. But if Adoree Jackson plays at a high level this year, which I do hope he does, and I think he can and will, if he stays healthy, he seems like a good fit for Don Martindale's defense. I do think he should be back next year. But it is possible the Giants don't like that $19 million cap hit and want to save the $9 million or maybe look to trade him to another team if he's coming off a good year. Then in 2024, of course, you add that void year. It's going to be a dead cap hit of $2.9, almost $3 million. So that's the unfortunate part about this news, is that it kind of tacks on another year of dead money of about $3 million. But you look at it now, they saved themselves some cap room. It's only a $9.2 million cap hit for this season. But then looking at next season, it's 19. So that's the bad news. But the Giants, at least next year, should be in a better cap situation. Some of the contracts become more manageable. So that is the good news. And the Giants have to do what they have to do. I mean, Joe Shane said this is a last resort type of thing. And I guess he kind of reached that last resort. And he's been trying everything, I feel like, to just get this team in a decent cap situation while not looking like a pathetic team. But it's a tough situation. We know the Giants last offseason had a big spending spree of Golladay, Adoree, and Leonard Williams, and now they're kind of paying the price. So it's unfortunate, and I just don't see this team winning that many games in 2022, but they have to do what they have to do right now. They have to get younger, get some guys on rookie contracts, which of course will solve in the upcoming draft. But this is not the type of news you want to see as a Giants fan, I'll put it that way. But it is something that had to happen. And now, due to the fact that we have 2 first-round picks, assuming we keep those picks, the Giants are going to need about $14 to $16 million just to sign their draft class. So if they only had $1 million in cap space, that was not going to be possible. They had have to still get rid of some guys. Like right now, yes, you save some money with the Adoree Jackson move, but the Giants still have to make moves from now until late April when the draft arrives to get rid of some guys and possibly make some moves. Is it possible that James Bradberry is still traded? It definitely is. Is it possible Saquon Barkley is, I don't want to say shockingly traded, but I think it'd be a bit of a surprise right now. I think it is possible. The Giants have to do pretty much anything in their power to get some of this money off the books and at least have money to sign their draft picks, which of course you have to do. So we're going to see how they manage it throughout the rest of this offseason, but the draft is slowly approaching here. I should say quickly approaching, but we're in early April. It's about 3 weeks away now, so we're getting there, and I feel like some money still has to be cleared up before we sign those draft picks. So speaking of James Bradberry, there are rumors that the Kansas City Chiefs are not interested in trading for Bradberry now, mostly because of the cap hit, so that's a shame. That kind of takes another team off the list of a possible destination for James Bradberry, so I don't know what's going to happen there, but I still think something has to happen, and whether that is Bradberry or Barkley or some other surprise move, we'll see what happens there. But anyway, so we'll talk about, well, I actually wanted to say Bradberry did not show up to the offseason workout yesterday, which is really not a surprise. I mean, that's what's been reported. Now, there has been confirmation by the Giant insider that Kadarius Toney did not show up yesterday, and that's one that kind of had Giants fans a little rattled on Twitter, a little annoyed, and it makes sense. I mean, he had a very odd and frustrating season last year for the most part because we saw glimpses of how good Kadarius Toney can be, but we also saw injuries and saw some other stuff where you're like kind of concerned you don't want to see. So to have Toney not show up to the first like voluntary workout for the Giants with a new coaching staff, new regime, you're kind of like, come on, like you couldn't just show up. But I don't know if he has a personal matter to attend to, or maybe he's just partying in Florida. I have no idea, but he is an adult and he can make his own decisions. I don't think it's the biggest deal in the world, but I think as a Giants fan, you want to see the guys show up, of course. But I think as Giants fans, we kind of have to come to the realization that maybe like the New York Giants is not Kadarius Toney's first priority. Like that's, I understand he's a professional football player and that's his job, but I think Kadarius Toney has shown by now he has other interests, especially music. So I know that he is a football player. I'm sure he loves the game, but like at the same time, like I think he's shown by now he's not afraid to like make these decisions that like are best for him. Like I see the same thing happen with Kyrie Irving all the time for my Brooklyn Nets. He'll sometimes take a random couple weeks off and all that, but Toney is going to be there at some point. He's not going to like just boycott the Giants and not show up. But at the same time, I mean, it is voluntary. So you're like, okay, I get it from that perspective. But I think just, I don't know, based on how last year went, it kind of left a bad taste in our mouths. And there's people that want to compare him to Odell Beckham, which I don't see it. I get their wide receivers and all that. But like, I don't know. I don't really see the direct comparison. So I'm not all that concerned about it. I think Toney's going to be back at some point when it actually matters. It'd be nice once again to have him there, but it's also not the end of the world, and I just think people are just going way overboard with this and reacting way too much to this. So it'll work itself out. But once again, with Toney, the guy has a life of his own. Like as Giants fans, we want him to be like, you know, be dedicated. The Giants come first. But like, the guy has a life. Like all these guys have lives. These are human beings, and I can't sit here and know what Kadarius Toney's going through or what he has going on in his personal life. I have no idea. I don't think any of us know. So I'm not sure if the Giants even know. But I try to be fair to everybody in these situations, and as I said, it's a voluntary workout in early April. Like, I really don't care that much. I think we only care because of how last year went down with Toney and some of the red flags we saw. But, like, it's really not that big of a deal if you look at this situation individually. If you look at the big picture of Toney since he's been a Giant, yeah, you can be more concerned about it. But you just look at it individually, it's like, all right, the guy didn't show up. It is what it is. So, I don't know. I'm trying not to overreact to it. I still think the guy's going to be a good player if he can stay healthy. But we'll see how that one plays out. But just let's try not to overreact just yet. All right, so we'll end on this because it just got confirmed under an hour ago by Ari Mirov, the My Sports Update on Twitter, says that Georgia pass rusher Travon Walker and Georgia running back James Cook, Dalvin Cook's brother, were both in New Jersey for top 30 visits with the Giants. And I want to talk about Travon Walker because he's got to be one of the most like polarizing prospects in this draft, because there's some people that think like he could legitimately go number 1 overall, and there's some people that are like, oh, he's a middle of the first round type guy. So I'm not going to act like I watched a ton of him, but I do see the appeal. I mean, first off, the guy is an absolutely insane athlete and just killed the combine, which that's great for an edge rusher. That's important at that position. But you watch him play and it's like he has such great play strength. He has such a high motor. I think the things that like people don't like about him is like he doesn't have the best flexibility. He has like only a couple of pass rushing moves, but like if he can just develop that, I mean, the sky's the limit for a guy like that. So I get it. He has like a big frame so he can drop into coverage. He's very good on his feet. Like he has everything you'd want an edge rusher to have. It's kind of similar to kind of like the Michigan pass rushers in recent years. I feel like guys like Rashawn Gary, Kwity Paye, guys that are just like big, like edge rushers that are built perfectly, but like didn't have the best production in college, but like you see them just kill it at the combine and like they have everything you'd want. So therefore NFL teams are going to fall in love with a guy like that. While I don't think he goes first overall, I could see a scenario where the Giants fall in love with him, especially the Giants. They love Georgia guys. But, like, I could see a scenario where the Giants take him at 5 or 7. Would I love the pick? I mean, maybe not, because I love Kayvon Thibodeau the most. But at the same time, I can see where they're coming from. There's a lot to like about Travon Walker. So it's an interesting one. Let me know in the comments, how do you guys feel about Travon Walker? Because there are just so many different opinions. And as for James Cook, I don't have that much of a take about him. He's probably more of a 3rd or 4th round type of guy, but you're getting a lot of explosive plays, a home run hitter type of guy. I don't know if he'll ever be like a 3-down back, especially. He doesn't really have great size. He's just like a smaller version of Dalvin Cook, his brother, basically. But at the same time, he's a good receiver. So I think at worst, you're looking at a good 3rd-down back, a 2-minute drill type of back. So if the Giants got James Cook in the 4th round or something, I'd be pretty satisfied with that. But as for Travon Walker, of course, that's the more important one because that's a 1st-round prospect. But I don't know. I don't have a strong feeling about Travon Walker. I don't know. That's kind of a wait and see. So I can get on board as a fan if the Giants really do believe in him because he has all the tools and he has all like the metrics to be great at that position. But I can see a scenario where he might be a bit overhyped. So I have no idea. We'll see how it goes. But definitely some more draft content coming up soon. I'm pretty much done with the 1st-round guys, like the 1st-round prospects. So we're getting there. I want to get through my research first, and I would say the last couple weeks before the draft, I'll just pump out some draft content for you guys. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will talk to you guys next time.